Good morning. I liked that. We're going to do that again. You sounded good. Good morning. All right. We're on our way. Welcome to the beautiful Church of the River in downtown Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Courtney. I'm the board secretary here. I use she, her pronouns. This is the first time I've gotten that right in 17 Sundays. And you are all very welcome here today. In the rich assortment of languages, colors, and hues, each contributing to the mosaic of our shared humanity, you are welcome here. When you have a little extra excitement and you need to wiggle and jiggle, you are welcome here. In the various ways you navigate and express your gender, in the authenticity of your self-expression, you are welcome here. In the depth and breadth of your love, in the myriad forms it takes, you are welcome here. Whether your heart brims with laughter or weighs heavy with tears, or a combination thereof, in every emotion you bring to this sacred space, you are welcome here. Join us, please, with open minds, loving hearts, and willing hands. Together, we embark on this journey of community and connection together. You are welcome here today. And for those of us who are joining online, you are welcome also. Everyone is encouraged to engage with our soul work materials. They are found on the bookshelf at the back of the sanctuary. Many folks of all ages find that busy hands make for a calm body and a focused mind. As we settle in, please remember to silence any electronic devices. If you are new here, we are very glad you found us, and we hope that in this community, you may experience the warmth and love of this congregation. If you'd like to learn more about us, you can find our newcomer form by scanning the QR code in the order of service, and we also invite you to pick up a welcome bag from the credenza, which is at the top of the sanctuary, on your way out. Please take note of the announcements printed in your order of service, and you can also scan the QR code to see the full list of announcements in this week's newsletter. And please see me after service if for some reason you are not receiving the newsletter. And finally, you are invited to fill out the blue Joys and Sorrows slips in the basket on your pews and drop them in the offering baskets. I now invite the music of our choir to draw us deeper into this moment as we enter into worship together.
That's on, yes. Good morning. And welcome. As we gather here on the unceded land of the Chickasaw and Quapaw peoples, it's good to be here with you. Grateful for this hour and for this space. My name is Lynn Hopkins. It is my great honor to serve this congregation as its interim minister. This congregation is in the process of just getting off the ground with a search for a new, settled minister, which is exciting and an awful lot of work. So please recognize and honor all of the members of your search committee and everyone else who helps to make that happen. I just want to call to your attention before I really get underway the fact that this coming week is going to be unlike any other week of our church year. It is General Assembly. And so I will not be in the office. If you need me or just want to chat, send me a text. I'll have lots of open time, just not the usual time that I have open, so I won't be here. And our administrator is taking some vacation time as well. Please be attentive to the information that's in your newsletter. It will be really helpful. And next week, next Sunday, the 21st, I will not be here. Normally I'm off on the fourth Sunday, but next Sunday we've got something much bigger than me going on. The General Assembly closing worship service. It will be happening at 10 a.m. our time. We'll gather in the Mississippi River Room. We'll have the TV down and ready for broadcast. It has invariably been a dynamic, energizing worship experience that is shared by congregations around the country. I hope that you will come out at 10 a.m., note the earlier hour, to be with your fellow Church of the River folks to take part in this international Unitarian Universalist worship experience. And now, I invite you to speak with me the words of chalice lighting printed in your order of service. We light this chalice. The chalice of freedom, the goal of equality, and the warmth of community. May all who gather here offer and find blessings of acceptance, loving kindness, and a grateful heart. Please, if you will rise as you are willing and able and join together in singing in the gray hymnal number 323, Break Not the Circle.
Good morning, everyone. You may be seated. I know, third time. Y'all are all good morninged out. But I am Jessica Lakeman. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve this congregation as the director of Lifespan Faith Development. Now, as we slide into the easier rhythm of summer here at Church of the River, we're shaking things up a little bit for our young people, and I am incredibly excited to kick off a brand new family ministry program series we are calling Stories That Shape Us. Over the next few months, our children and youth are going to connect with some amazing local Memphis authors, artists, and educators. They'll be helping us explore big ideas around curiosity, compassion, and the power of imagination. Here's how each Sunday will work. Our guest will share a brief presentation right here during the time for all ages. So yes, adults, you get to enjoy them as well. And then after that, they will head out with our children and youth to continue the fun and conversation for the rest of the service while you remain here for worship. But fear not, they will also be available in the Mississippi River Room after the service for chatting and book signing and all kinds of wonderful things. This morning, I am especially thrilled to kick off our series with a beloved Memphis treasure. Please join me in welcoming award-winning author Alice Faye Duncan. Miss Alice Faye writes incredible lyrical picture books about blues music and American history that educate, entertain, and inspire readers of all ages. She travels the country, teaching both kids and adults about the profound power of words, and you may already be familiar with one of her best-selling books, Opal Lee and What It Means to Be Free, which has sold over 100,000 copies. So we are in for a real treat. Miss Alice Faye, would you like to have this in your hand, or would you like to stand here?
Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, Pastor Lynn. Thank you all for welcoming me and receiving me this morning. We have a bookstore that's coming, so I want to show you just the books I think that she's going to sell. I'm the author of Memphis, Martin, and Mountaintop, if you've ever heard of it. I am the author, and thank you. And because I believe that, because I know that blues music is American music and I want American music to thrive, I write a lot about blues because I believe if we share blues music with young people, then they will be the creators of blues, and blues will continue as an American tradition. And so I'm also the author of Blues Boy, the B.B. King story. So I just wanted to share these books with you, and now I want to talk about what I came here to. Okay. That one. I want to talk about what I came here to talk about. We know that June is a celebration of many things, and one of those things that we celebrate nationally is Juneteenth. But Juneteenth, it's been celebrated in Texas since 1866. It's been celebrated in Memphis since 1993. The country just started celebrating it officially as a federal holiday in 2021. If you got paper and pencil, say I got paper and pencil. If you ain't got it, say I ain't got it. All right, well, if you can, just remember these dates. I'm gonna see if I can remember these dates for you, because the thing is, I thought I was gonna have my Opal Lee book and I don't. So remember these dates. I just wanna give you some Juneteenth history so that for the month of June, you would have spoken about Juneteenth, heard about Juneteenth, right? So I say the Juneteenth history in America, it begins in 1619, when blacks came across the water from Africa in chains, and they stayed as chattel from 1619, did I say that right? Yeah, 1619 until 1865, which is when we celebrate Juneteenth. That's our collective celebration, right? But then in 1865, from 1865 to 1877, who knows what happened then? Someone say Reconstruction. Someone say Reconstruction. All right, so Reconstruction happens from 1865 to 1877, and then what happens in 1877 at the dismantling of Reconstruction? You then get Black Code, Jim Crow. Someone say Jim Crow. Jim Crow. So you get Jim Crow then from 1877 all the way up to 1964. Which is the signing of the 1964 Civil Rights Act. And then you get the signing of the 1965 Voting Rights Act. And then you get what I would, just for the purpose of this conversation, we call the post-civil rights movement, which I would say from 1964, or you could say 1968, until, I would say, this is me doing my historical, calculations, until 2025, which I call the dismantling of the Civil Rights Act bills. And with this dismantling, you have the Voting Rights Act gutted, and now you have gerrymandering rampant all over the land, and you now have, you don't have affirmative action for kids to get a fair consideration in colleges. It's like the mistreatment of others, of minorities, no matter how you fit in the minority scheme of things, the mistreatment of minorities now is like, hey, everybody, we can all do it. There is no oversight with the law to protect any of us. right? But then I heard y'all's theme today, which was liberation is still possible for everyone. And that is because we all have to shine our light and be our brothers and our sisters and humanity's keeper, right? And so if we shine our light and work together, I was thinking of a metaphor that I could give you for your theme of liberation is possible for all. Does anybody here read the Bible? If you read the Bible, say, I do. I do. Ooh, just so few voices in the crowd. Oh my God. Okay, so there's a story in the Bible, I think it's Matthew 2, where we talk about liberation is possible for all. Liberation is possible for all. Okay, we're going to use Jesus as a model, right? One died so many could be what? Live or saved, right? But then there's a story in Matthew 2 where there is a man and he is infirmed and he is not liberated by the plague of his body. And he wants to see Jesus, the liberator. And he can't get to Jesus. Everybody in the healing line, but the man that's crippled can't get to Jesus, and the house is full. But he has 4 friends. 4 friends come along, they pick up the paralyzed man. Someone say, raise the roof. Raise the roof. I don't mean R-I-S-E, I mean R-A-Z-E, raise the roof. And so he's got 4 friends, and they come and they raise the roof. They lift the man on their shoulder. They climb him up the ladder. And then when they get to the roof, they dig big holes in the roof so they can let the man down at the feet of Jesus, where the man, that one singular man, then receives his healing. But this is what the scripture does not say about the other 4. When the 4 let the one down to be liberated, they took themselves also before the feet of Jesus. And that's how liberation will come from us all. Everybody, black, white, otherwise, wherever you fall on the spectrum of humanity, all of us have a level of privilege that is available to us. And when we work to set those who are not free, we liberate ourselves. But now tell your brother and sister who act like they don't know that also when we incarcerate and vilify and mistreat and starve others, we also starve, vilify, and harm ourselves. So I just want you to know that until all of us are free, no one is free. But if all of us are working to, someone say, raise the roof. If all of us are working to raise the roof, then all of us will take ourselves before the feet of that true shining liberator, Jesus. And all of us will be, someone say, free. All right, so now I want to read for you one of the poems from my book, Memphis, Martin, and the Mountaintop. And the poem is called The King is Dead. And then I will go and speak to the little ones. I'm a national board school teacher, and I taught school 30 years in Memphis. So teaching, chilling is what I do. That's easy. Talking to big folks like y'all that's the hard nut to crack right there. But anyways, here we go. Repeat after me. This is from Memphis, Martin, and Mountaintop, and it's talking about Dr. King and what he did. One man came to help many be liberated with his voice, right? And let me say this about Dr. King. Dr. King had to die because he was on his way to Washington to get a living wage for all us. So he couldn't stay according to the status quo. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Repeat after me. The king is dead. Not long ago, there lived a king. He did not sleep in a castle. He did not wear a crown. He did not rule a royal court. or ride in chariots. The king marched in the streets. He lived to help the poor. He lived for peace and love. Hate. Kill the king. The king is dead. What will the people do? Repeat after me. Hate killed the king. The king is dead. What will the people do? As they do in the church in my cultural tradition, look over there to your neighbor at your right and say, neighbor, what will you do? Look over to the neighbor to your left and say, neighbor, what will you do? The king is dead. What will we do? That answer is up to me, and that answer is up to you. Praise the Lord, somebody.
Ooh, Miss Alice Faye, I don't know how to follow that, but grown-ups, if you will raise your blessing hands in the air and repeat after me, you are beloved. You are sacred. You are powerful. Go in peace. And all kiddos are invited to join us in the orange room to hang out with Miss Alice Faye.
We had a little church up in here this morning. Jesus said, be not afraid, and we say, don't be scared. The reading this morning is from the 1619 Project. This was a portion, a submission therein by Leslie Alexander and Michelle Alexander entitled Fear. There's never been a time in United States history when black rebellions did not spark existential fear among white people, often leading to violent response. Even when resistance has been peaceful or purely symbolic, such as black fists raised during the medal ceremony at the 1968 Olympics, or a knee taken on a football field during national anthem nearly 50 years later, any sign of rebellion has frequently resulted in threats or acts of violence perpetrated by white vigilantes, militia groups, and the police, often culminating in the creation or strengthening of systems of racial and social control. The reflexive impulse to respond to black people with severe punitiveness is traceable to the 18th and 19th centuries, when white people desperately sought to control a large, unfree population who refused to submit to their enslavement. The deep-seated gnawing terror that black people might one day rise up and demand for themselves the same freedoms and inalienable rights that led white colonists to declare the American Revolution has shaped our nation's politics, culture, and systems of justice ever since. The specific forms of repression and control may have changed over time, but the underlying pattern established during slavery has remained the same. Modern-day policing, surveillance, and mass criminalization, as well as white vigilante violence, know your place, aggression, have histories rooted in white fear, not merely of black crime or black people, but of black liberation. Nothing has proved more threatening to our democracy or more devastating to black communities than white fear of black freedom dreams. I remind you that you are invited to submit joys and sorrows with the offering. As the baskets are passed, we will now take a collection for the support of our ongoing life together. So grateful for Bill sharing that with us and sad to see him leaving. But what a joy to be able to be immersed in the magic of that music. This is a moment in our service in which we lift up and let go things that we carry with us through the week. It's a practice that's marked by congregations across Unitarian Universalism in different ways. Here, we take a stone from the bowl and release it into the cleansing waters of our gathered community. I want to wish a happy birthday to my brother today and no one else. Lifting up friends and family struggling, those who are living with illness and disability, those living with addiction, those living with violence in all of its forms. I lift up the children in the summer. May this be a time of joyous play for all of them. And the parents who take on additional responsibilities and time-consuming tasks, may they find the joy of parenting and energy in love. And I lift up those who seek to bring an end to a war that seems to have no possibility of resolution. I invite you to come, if you would like, to release a stone into the cleansing waters of our gathered community. Oh. And this morning, a sorrow from Bill. Please pray for my friend Erica, whose father has been in the hospital for 2 weeks, in and out of the ICU. Mary Lou asks, please keep the McCaslins in your thoughts this week as the family moves to Maryland. We will miss you all, and we'll be back to visit soon. Thank you for being our church family. And from T. Lee, thankful for the core soup kitchen crew who served yesterday at St. John's United Methodist Church. It is such a humbling experience to work with our members to share food with those who need a nutritious meal. I am filled with love. And if there is something else, if there is something you carry this morning that you're not ready to bring, it would be my honor to drop a stone on your behalf if you will indicate by raising a hand. And please join me, if you will now, in an attitude of prayer as we quiet our minds and open our hearts, holding one another in compassion. May we together ease the pain in one another's lives and explore new ways of bringing joy and peace to our community and our broken world. Amen. Please join me, if you would, in our congregational response. It's number 123 in the gray hymnal, Spirit of Life. I want to share a story with you, but I need you to help me with your visual imagination. Close your eyes if it helps. I need you to visualize that standing up here today is not a preacher in a robe, but a panel of the wisest experts in the world gathered to help solve a calamity of human existence. There is a Nobel Prize winning economist who has consulted with governments and non-governmental organizations around the world. There's a molecular biologist who has recently published breakthrough research on the human genome. There's a global political scientist and historian who is consulted often on strategies for building peace. There's a nuclear physicist whose discoveries have touched the technology and every endeavor of human life. And just to round out the bunch, there's a theologian, a moral ethicist, whose wisdom and integrity is honored by people around the world, even those who strongly disagree with the particular theology. Do you see them? The 5 standing here? My question is, how many of them are white men? First time I encountered this exercise, there were 2 in my mind that were not, but only because I was thinking of 2 particular people I had just been reading about. Everyone that I imagined out of whole cloth was a white guy. And curiously, research has shown that how many white guys are in that picture in the imagination doesn't change if you're white or black. And I want to invite you to consider what you discovered about your own imagination, not with shame or self-criticism, but with recognition of white supremacy culture. That is where we live. It's dicey talking about these things, though, because of the power, the enormous power of white supremacy culture to protect itself. It tells you it's not okay to talk about it. When the apartheid regime fell in South Africa, when the Nazi regime fell in Germany, and there have been other less famous examples, but folks understood the only way to begin to undo the damage is to talk about it, no matter how uncomfortable that is. But we didn't do that. We were in a big old hurry to forget. And so, it didn't go away. Because we were so determined not to see just how inhuman our structures had been, we never went through the process of bringing humanity into our structures. Yes, to be sure, things are different now from how they were in 1864 or 5 or 6 or even 7. They're different now from how they were in 1964 or 1968. But the culture. Now, a culture does not refer to the individuals who make it up. I don't think there is any denying for any of us that we in this nation live in a violent culture. But I don't think any one of you is a violent person. And I think all of us would like to find ways to work together to unravel the level of violence that exists. But But we know that it's violent. We know that it's patriarchal. We know things about our culture that we can talk about. But there's one we cannot. And for that reason, we must. Here we are. Today, 2026, is it? My God. Today, it's unconscious the way in which the highest level of achievement, the greatest excellence, the most remarkable individuals, the highest degree of righteousness or of patriotism, these things are coded white. Whereas crime, gun violence, drug abuse, imprisonment are coded black, not because any of us chose it, not because our parents chose it. It's culture. You remember science class? Culture was that goo at the bottom of the petri dish. It's what helps things grow. The culture itself is never the point. But there it is, and it enables things to grow. And if you question whether or not that's true, look at who's president. Okay, I mean, this is not about politics per se, but a nation that can say, oh, yeah, sure, he says obnoxiously, openly racist things, but I'm not racist, and he's doing stuff I like, so that's okay. It wouldn't be okay if we had permission in this culture to think about it and to talk about it and to discuss it in a way that was honest and authentic. We could all say, no, it is not okay to elevate leaders at any level, whether it be city and county, state, or national, who devalue and dehumanize my family. That's not okay. There is no imagination in which it could be. But here we are. It's Juneteenth. We've got this story that we tell. I don't know if any of you knew about Juneteenth before it became a national holiday matter. I was lucky in many respects in my upbringing. But the story is, this is the day that slavery really ended. The last ones are free. Because when we were kids, we were taught the Emancipation Proclamation did that. But of course, the Emancipation Proclamation only counted in states that were at war with the United States, so they were not likely to go along with the plan. So that was obviously a fallacy. But the plan was that once our Union Army took control of our southern rebellious states, then the Emancipation Proclamation goes into effect and everybody's free. Of course, there were places where that didn't happen, including this little corner of Texas in Galveston. And then on June 19th, 1865, word finally reached them and freedom was declared. But did you know that slavery was still legal in a lot of states? Delaware, Maryland, There were hundreds of people held in chattel slavery in New Jersey. In California, in the 50s, they had passed a law saying if you brought enslaved people with you, as long as you maintained a residence back in your home state and didn't make California your permanent residence, you could keep people enslaved. They put that in the law. New states found all sorts of ways around this requirement that new states admitted to the Union would be free. So it wasn't legally established until the 13th Amendment was finally ratified at the end of 1865. And chattel slavery was still practiced in some of the Native American territories until 1866, when treaties were revised and reestablished. So we love the story that this was the moment the general rode in. He read the proclamation and the people were free, but not. Not quite. It was a very important moment, but more than the moment, like all of the religious stories in the scripture, it's not a matter of whether the way we tell it actually happened, it's what it tells us today. And what Juneteenth tells us today is we're not done when we think we are. The story is not complete just because we are worn out, made it to the coast, and feel like we ought to be finished. So much of what we see in the world, in this nation today, is because white progressives in 1964 and 65 said, whew, glad that's over. We do that. And my apologies this morning for speaking specifically to white people, but I say we do that. And we need to understand that we do that. We need to see that we do that, and we need to stop it. Now, freedom was declared for these folks in Galveston, thanks be to God. I in no way want to diminish that achievement, that momentous occasion. Yes, let's celebrate. Let's celebrate that even when we say it's over, we still will go on with the work and leave nobody behind. We declared freedom, but there's a difference between freedom and liberation. Do you know? Freedom is granted and can be taken away. Freedom only exists in practical sense when there is someone who governs the freedom of others. Freedom, to be a meaningful term, requires that there be a supremacy culture. Liberation is a different thing altogether. Liberation would be the day when someone who looks like me and someone who looks like my spouse would think the same way if we had to call the police. Would not have to be, neither of us would have to be worried about what might go wrong. We would have the same chance of securing a bank loan. Liberation would mean that when I'm calling around about rental properties, I don't have to let the private owners, who have the right to discriminate if they choose, I have to let them know so that we don't go through a thing when we actually meet face to face. because we've gone through a thing when we've actually met face to face. It would mean that neither of us gets followed around the department store. Liberation means that there is no supremacy culture. Now, will we get there? I'm not convinced. Honest to God, I'm not. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know if humans will ever get there. We're so damn violent and afraid. But I do know it's possible. I know it's possible. I have been in communities where multiracial, multi-ethnic people of different opinions and viewpoints gather together and care for one another. I have seen it up close in real life. So I know it's possible. Here's the thing. We, and again I mean white people, are not going to take the risk and do the work that is necessary until we understand that our lives depend on it. No, nobody gonna shoot me down for staying quiet. That's the safe position, make no mistake. But I am not interested in living a joyless, loveless life. I've seen it. Watch the news. You can see it every day. I've seen it in my own family. People who are unable to recognize and embrace the connections among all human beings. Not in spite of our differences, but because our differences enrich and enlarge and enliven our own experience. And if we hope as a society, as a human race, to progress, to continue moving forward and not just bury ourselves in this escalating violence, we got to get with that. We need to find ways. Now, I could, as you might imagine, stand up here and talk to you for 4 or 5 hours about white supremacy culture and ways to recognize it and things to do about it. And I do not have that privilege this morning, and you do not have the burden of listening to me do that. But I do want to talk about it. And that's not the work specifically that I came here to do, but one of the things that I came here to do was to help bring this congregation into community with the larger Unitarian Universalist community, and also to light sparks, to see some enthusiasm about Unitarian Universalism. It is not a book exercise. It is life-changing work of the Spirit. And so I finally, after nearly a year here, on the occasion of Juneteenth, I said, this is the day I need to say these words out loud in this space. And I hope that we can continue to have discussions around how white supremacy culture that pervades the systems of our nation also has touched our own spirit. Because that's when it starts to change. We can do this. I don't know if we ever will, but I do know that it is possible because I've seen it, and I hope that we can work at it together. Please rise as you are willing and able and join with me in singing number 1030 in the paperback teal hymnal.
As we sing this, first we're singing it in English and not the Zulu that is written there. If you know it in Zulu and you would like to sing in that, have at it. But the choir, we're going to be singing in English, and this is in good old call and response. We're going to start with marching, and the second time through, I'm going to holler something else out, and then we're going to be doing that. Just change the word marching to that, and we'll do that until I say one more time, and then we're going to march one last time. Y'all ready?
Please join me in speaking aloud the words in your order of service for extinguishing our chalice. As we extinguish this flame, may the spirit of freedom guide our actions. May equality be our constant pursuit, and may the bonds of community remain strong. May we carry the blessings of acceptance, loving kindness, and a grateful heart with us, that we may offer them to a bruised and hurting world.
I wish I could say
join us over in the River Room for opportunity to fellowship and also to be with our amazing author this morning. And now, as we prepare to move forward, may we walk always in the light of courage and the power of transforming love. Our service has ended. May our service begin.